Welcome back to your Introduction to HTML and CSS training, and in this lesson we're actually going to look at adding links to our website. In this lesson we'll add some links to our web page. Links are a very important aspect of our web development. Links allow us to navigate to other pages on our site and allow us to navigate to external websites and web pages. Without links, our website would be limited to one page with no access to outside sources, and let me tell you, that would be pretty darn boring. So, links are also an important aspect of SEO, as links to your site can increase the domain authority of your site and really add to the generic search results that you get for your web page and generic traffic. So let's go ahead and add some links to our page so we can actually navigate to other pages on our website. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and drop out of our presentation, get back into our development environment, and we are right where we left off after the last exercise. So in this lesson, we'll add an additional page to our site so we can see how links are added to the HTML page to allow our site to have additional pages. We're going to start by taking the index.html page and using that page as a template for our new page. So I'm just going to go ahead and do a save as, and I'm going to save this as contact.html inside my same directory that my index is in. I want to open up that contact page, and I'm just going to go ahead and take out some of this content because we don't really need all this. So I'm going to go down to that third article that we placed in there and remove it. I'm going to go ahead and remove that second article that we have in there and remove it. And now I'm just going to come up here and clear one of our articles. Let me go ahead and take out a couple of these clear divs. We don't need all those. We only need one of those to set our page up correctly. Look at that first article. It looks pretty good. I'm going to use that, so let's go ahead and save those changes. Great time for you to pause if you need to pull those out of yours. I'm also going to go ahead and remove these span elements from our page. First, let's go ahead and change the title. So let's change this H1 title of our page so we know what page we're on. This is going to become my contact page. So I'm just going to call it contact page. Go ahead and put that in there. Let's change the image and remove the class for that image. So I'm going to go ahead and take out the classes that I have. I'm just going to leave my class equal empty quotation marks because I'm actually going to use a class in here. We're just going to change the class. I'm going to go ahead and change this to image3.png. And again, I did change the image type because I want you to understand that you can have different types of images inside your HTML documents as long as you have the extension correct. And in this particular image, I'm going to use a PNG image. I'm just going to call this the contact page image. And again, that alt text is very important, not only for your assistive devices in your HTML sites or in your web pages, but also for SEO. So it's very important that you have correct alt text as it pertains to the image that you're using. I want to go ahead and remove my span elements from these paragraphs. So I'm just going to go ahead and take out that opening span element. Let's go ahead and take out the closing span element. And again, I'm just cleaning this up because I want an additional page, but I don't want all this additional information in it. So I'm just cleaning up my page to make it basically an image with some paragraph text. Let's go ahead and save all those changes. Okay, so now let's go ahead and save everything. I just want to make sure everything's saved. I'm going to go load the page in my browser just to make sure it's looking right. So I'm just going to go up into the URL and type contact.html because we don't have any links built yet. And this is the only way we'll be able to see it. And now we've got that page with the image up, so that looks pretty good. So now what I want to do is in the contact page, let's go ahead and add a class to the image. And I'm just going to call this contact image. So I'm giving it a contact img class name. I'm going to save that change. Good time for you to pause to put that in. Then I'm going to go into my main.css file. Let's go ahead and style that. So I'm going to scroll up so I can get to the beginning of my classes, and I want to go to that contact class. It's going to come right up under my clear. .contact img, open and close my curly braces, and that's going to give me the area where I can actually put in my styling for that particular image. I'm going to give it a height of 100 pixels, and remember, by only adjusting one of the, either the height or the width, we're going to actually keep that proportional to the proportion it was originally designed at. I'm going to say margin right. And again, I want to push it off the right side of our page. So I'm going to say margin right, and let's give that 20 pixels. And then I'm actually going to float this left. So it floats left. It's very similar to the way we'd set up our initial page or our home page. Let's go ahead and save those changes. Great time for you to pause to go ahead and type those in. If I go ahead and refresh my browser now, I should get that much smaller image with my text wrapping around it, very similar to how we'd set up our home page. All right, so now let's go ahead and change the title inside of our contact.html. And I'm just going to change this title to How to Contact Us. And again, we're just setting this up as a demonstration as to how you can add additional pages. And I forgot my two. How to Contact Us. I'm going to go ahead and save that change. Go ahead and type that into your heading. Now let's add an email link to the actual document itself. So I'm going to come down below my paragraph and I'm going to add another paragraph. I'm just going to go ahead and copy this so you don't have to watch me type it. But I'm going to come down below this paragraph. I'm going to add another paragraph tag. I'm going to give it a class of contact. And inside there, I'm going to have another different type of link. We haven't used this link in the previous pages. But this anchor tag is actually going to be a mail anchor tag. And it's actually going to mail it to any email address that I put in this mail to after the colon. You'll notice I've also added a subject. Let me go ahead and pull that space out of there. I've also added a subject to this. So not only am I going to get the email, my default email application to come up, but it's actually going to have the mail to filled in and the subject line filled in. And I'm actually going to use that link as a contact us link. So we're going to see the contact us on the actual browser window or in the browser window. And then once we see that, it's actually going to bring up, when we select it, our default email program with the email address filled in and the subject filled in for that email address. So let's go ahead and save those changes. Now what I want to do is I want to go into my CSS because I actually want to style this class and style the anchor tag. So in my main.css file, I'm actually going to scroll down to contact. I'm going to put it right under my clear. That'll be the first style that I want to set up. And remember, as we refer to contact class, we're actually referring to this paragraph that we just set up with that link. And inside there, I just want to have text align center. That's the only thing I need in there. And now I actually want to style the tag itself. So I'm going to say contact space A for my anchor tag. Open and close my curly braces. I want to give it a color of #777. That's going to be a dark gray. Come below that, I want to give it a font size of 18 pixels. And right below that, I want to give it a text decoration of none. And again, that's just going to take out all that underlining and all that stuff from that text. Let's go ahead and save all those changes. Great time for you to pause to type that in. Let's go ahead and refresh the browser window so you can see what that contact looks like. And now you see we've got that nice contact us text at the bottom of our paragraph. What's cool about the way we set up this link, and if you'll look back at the text that we put in there inside that contact.html, I've actually entered an email address that this is going to be sent to, and normally that would be the admin of your site. And I've actually filled in the subject line from the site that's actually going to be filled in when they select that link. And let me show you what I mean by that. If we're on the page and we refresh the browser window and I select that contact us, it's actually going to bring up your default email program, and it's going to bring up the address that you put in that link and that subject area. You'll notice also that you're going to have it filled in based on your default email program where it's coming from. I've actually got mine blurred out, but you'll actually see where that's coming from using your default email program. And that's what's kind of cool with the way we set up these links. We can actually set these up, and you can actually put more than subject in there if you want to research that on the W3 site, because you can actually have more than the subject. You can actually do carbon copies, you can do blind copies, and you can actually put some of the text for the actual contact in there. And again, it's all dependent upon what you want to put inside that link. All right, so I've showed you how to add an email link. And oh, by the way, on these email links, you want to be careful adding these to your site, because there are a lot of what's called web scrapers out there that will actually go and scrape these email addresses from websites. And then you start getting all these crazy emails from all these different goofy people trying to either sell you stuff or set you up for these adult websites or all kinds of crazy things. So what I tend to do is I actually build contact pages or contact forms. This way they can't pull the email address right out of your web page. But this is one way that a lot of web developers actually put contact us or admin links into their website so people can actually contact them directly. But again, we're moving farther and farther away from that with all these web scrapers that are out there to pull email addresses out of websites. So anyway, let's go add some links now to our pages. I'm going to scroll back up to the top of our page where we actually have our main navigation system. And inside my contact, I want to add a contact.html. Keep in mind, we're on the contact.html page. But again, that should have a link just like all your other ones. And in your home, I want to add index.html. Now what I want to do, because we're on the contact page, I actually want to make my contact page the active page for our site. I'm going to go ahead and cut this out of the LI for the home page, Control X on the PC, Command X on the Mac, because I want to take that active class and actually put that active class in our contact page. Control V on the PC to paste, Command V on the Mac to paste. Let's go ahead and save all those changes. Now when I refresh the browser window inside my web browser, you'll notice that we've moved that active state to the contact page because that's the page we're on. If I go back to the home page, because now our link works, it actually takes us back to that home page, and you'll notice now that the home page is active because that has that active class. So now we can go between the contact and the home pages the way we should. I want to do the same thing with my index.html page, so bring that page back up in your text editor, and inside the home link I want to add index.html, and for the contact page I want to add contact.html. Make sure you get those typed into your site. And again, don't move your active on this one because we're actually on the home page this time. So we want that to be the active page. Let's go ahead and save all those changes. And again, if we go back and refresh our browser, now from the home page we can go to the contact page. And from the contact page we can go to the home page. And you'll notice we're changing the active state as we move, which is exactly what we want to do. Now all we need to do is add a couple of those links to our footer section. So I'm on the index.html page. I want to go down to the footer section, and I want to add index.html in the footer for my home page, and I want to add contact.html for the contact page. Let's go ahead and save those changes. And I want you to do the same thing with your contact page. I want you to go to the contact page, go down into the footer, change that to index.html for the home page, and contact.html for the contact page. And now your footer navigation is set up based on the pages that we have built. Now do keep in mind that as you add additional pages, you're going to actually fill in this news, the about, or any other pages that you may add to this dynamic system. By the way that we've set up the navigation system, and this is one of the reasons why I really like this, I'm back on the index.html page. If I were to add another menu selection to this, I'm just going to do a Control-C to copy that, come down below it, Control-V to paste, and I'm just going to call this Store, S-T-O-R-E. So we've actually added another menu selection. Because of the way that we've designed the CSS, it's automatically going to update that page, and it picks up the styling of the menu items. So I mean, it's very easy to add additional menu selections to this if you wanted to. Not difficult at all, just by adding another link, and it just picks up those styles, and then you just have to remember to actually add your additional pages as you build them inside your hrefs for your HTML. So let's go ahead and save all those changes. You should actually have a working site now. You should have a working site that goes between your home page and your contact page. And the same thing here. I can go to the contact page or the home page. You'll notice even though I'm selecting it from the footer, when I go to the contact page, because it loads the page, it shows the contact as the active page. Same thing with the home page. Even from the footer, it shows the home as the active page from the footer. So I hope you enjoyed it. Got a couple more things I want to cover before we wrap this up. I hope you're learning a lot. I hope you're realizing it's not really difficult to design and develop HTML web pages with CSS. And I look forward to seeing you in the next lesson.